spent my whole damn life in the city. Anywhere I go, DC's coming with me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. I can go for broke, but the capital is in me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. Anywhere I go, DC's coming with me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. I can go for broke, but the capital is in me.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided, a DC sports podcast, more specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Amit. That is a walking on his phone K-Dot. And this episode is going to be a very quick recap on the Commanders game against the New York Jets, preseason game number 1 of the 2024-2025 season. Lots to be excited about. A couple of things that can be improved upon, but we figured we'd quickly give you our reactions to it. And so we hope you enjoy. And if you do, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and K-Dot.
It's time. Your boy is mobile. I'm moving around, right? And regardless, moving around, sitting down, doing whatever it is that you do, it is time, baby, to share this shit, share this shit, share this shit. You've got to share it.
Please. Share this shit.
I'm gonna sit down. I'm out of breath a little bit.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I get that. Okay, but you know what? Something that took my breath away was that first completion of Jayden Daniels. The first throw, he overcooked a little bit to Eckler, obviously. And I was like, okay, a little bit jitters, stuff like that. But man, oh man, we got to begin with the quarterback, right, K-Dot? I mean, so he is the number 2 overall pick. We've talked about the ball placement being really good. And again, on the first throw to Austin Eckler, obviously could have been better, but first throw, bit of jitters, preseason, get it out, fine, whatever. That 3rd and 6th throw to Dyami Brown was incredible. I mean, the ball placement was damn near perfect. And I believe we have at least a video or from 1, maybe even 2 angles, which we'll show you in a moment.
I have 3. Don't sell me short.
Well, I was teeing it up for that.
Doesn't mean we got to play all 3 because I mean it's the same thing back to back. But I know everybody really, really enjoyed it. Before I play the video, shout out to Mark Bullock. If anybody follows Mark Bullock on Twitter or X, whatever the fuck, and he has a Substack. If you want to know Allison Lombard about X's and O's and how to break down the film as far as the Commanders go, there's nobody that does it better, I think, than him, specifically for this team. So I want to shout out to him. He got the All-22 video, and you'll see some of his writing on there. But I thought, hey, let's do it and take a look at the play of the century for us, right? It's got us hype. It's got us hype. All right. So right here, you see, empty set, Jayden right there. See the safeties, pull down everybody there in the box. And what do you do? Well, he's already changed the play, right?
Yep.
So, to the audible, to the drop back. Little thing right there. You see, keeping his head straight. Get the safety to look off so he can't get. And then that dime of a throw. It's right there.
K-Dot, that thing was beautiful. I audibly, it was uncomfortable. No, I'm glad I watched that solo. Because the noise I made when he made that throw and that catch, oh my goodness.
Dang! Look at this!
Look at this. All right, here he's changing the play. Right?
Yep, changing
we got safeties in the box. That means we got over the top available. He ends up taking this snap. Like you said, keeps his head straight, immediately turns Dyami. Here we go. Wow.
It's so wonderful. Like, look, you're not gonna say his career is gonna be based off this one particular play, right? But it's all the individual things you see within it, right? I'm sure we'll talk about, I don't know why we haven't talked about it right already. I mean, this play already has a name. It's already entered the legend of the Washington Commanders, which is our boy Buzz the Tower. Okay? He buzzed.
Yeah.
All right, hold on, hang on. Have you seen Top?
Yes, I have. Top Gun Maverick. I have seen it.
Whoa, hang on. Did you see the original Top Gun?
Yes, I've seen the original Top Gun. Actually, Mr. Ford, shout out Mr. Ford from middle school. Showed it to us.
My God.
I remember that. He loved the volleyball scene. If you remember that.
There's another movie that goes into great detail about why that volleyball scene is so very important and why that entire movie is all about homosexuality. But one more time, Buzz in the Tower. The thing that makes it great is that every aspect of it, right? So it's like every aspect of it is what makes it great. The changing of the play, him realizing and knowing from practice, as he said, there were all guys there within 5 yards of this. It was supposed to be a screen. It's not going to work. But look at the pull-up You see the little bit of daylight he gives the right tackle to be able to make sure that the
Yep.
defense gets behind him. Just that little bit, just a little bit. The head placement, knowing every single piece of it, and then the throw was on a dime. On a dime.
It was a subtle pocket shift to your point, right? He just just enough to help his tackle
Just
out.
enough north.
Noted, by the way, it must be noted that we were missing Andrew Wiley, we were missing Brandon Coleman, we were missing Cornelius Lucas. So you're on tackles 4 and 5, and we're rotating all through. So you need to help him out. Jayden does so, puts the ball on an absolute platter. I want to shout out Dyami Brown also, who has had a really, really good camp so far. Made some plays against the Jets in the joint practice, and of course makes this grab here. I wanted to shout him out in particular, K-Dot, because I remember watching the replay and I was like, oh, he was being held while trying to bring this down. Yeah, if you look, 29's got a ton of jersey in that right hand of his. So to have the concentration as Dyami Brown to be able to go, yeah, I'm being held, but I still need to come down with this. Takes his time, doesn't flash his hands too early, and then brings it down. That outside ball placement, once again, excellent from Jayden.
Perfect.
You need to come down with it. You don't necessarily get that call. There was no flag on the play, right? So refs didn't see it. So shout out to Dyami Brown, who has been winning this summer, honestly, right? He's been on the team for a while, hot and cold. Looks like it might be coming together, which is very exciting. We could have a true wide receiver 3, K-Dot, in Dyami Brown. What did you make of his performance?
It was spectacular, but the thing of a Dyami, and I've talked about the receiving core, especially the last few weeks, even feeling stupid talking about the receiving core. But the thing that one of the caveats that I gave to Dyami as far as a lot of the wide receivers is who they've had throwing the ball to them, right? So if you look at like everything that goes through what it is that happened right here, didn't really feel like Eric Bieniemy was giving them a whole lot of leeway to be calling anything at the line of scrimmage, at least from what I was seeing. It looked like whatever it is the play call was, that's what the fucking play call was going to be. So it's like acknowledging and knowing that Dyami Brown, who is a speedster, is going to get these opportunities because that's what Jayden saw, right? It wasn't queued up for this to be what it was. That play was probably going to go nowhere if it was the screen. But the idea is that he's learned so much already in training camp, and they already trust him enough. At least Cliff might have trusted him enough
right.
to know.
Buzz the tower. Yep.
Right. That like, hey, if you see what it is and this is not going to work, then you need to call into something else. He calls into something else. You can see with his head placement and where it is that he's looking, he knows he has one-on-one on the outside, right? And he keeps the safety there. As long as he can keep that safety there, as long as he possibly can, there's no chance he can get there. He can get to the outside of Dyami Brown. And then, I'm sorry, but best damn ball placement I've seen on a pass from a Commanders quarterback or Washington quarterback in quite some time. I know I was watching the game with a friend, and it was like Kirk Cousins, maybe. It looked damned good. Like that's something that, like, while we might criticize, or I might criticize some of the players that have been on this team, especially in the receiving core outside of Terry, I think that there was like a Taylor Heinicke-ness of it, which was like, fuck it, Terry's down there, which is like, I trust Terry to do it. But this was clearly going through everything that you're supposed to go through, not just trusting the talent you got there, but trusting what your eyes are seeing, what the defense is showing you, to then give the guy an opportunity to go make a play. And that, to me, speaks volumes that you're going to see guys get opportunities that might not have gotten in previous regimes here, at least in the short-term future.
And this also helps with the conversation, right? When we talk about Jayden Daniels, having Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors, and then Brandon Ayuk back at Arizona State. But like having guys, did they make him? And I think that that type of throw suggests that even if you still feel that way, he is bringing something to the table himself also. Right. Now, granted, once again, this was one preseason drive. He was 2 of 3. The other one to Terry was just a quick little flare screen type thing. And he runs one in, which was awesome. He's smiling before he even gets in the end zone, which is fabulous. Like, it was a really awesome debut for Jayden. So shout out him. And we're excited to see more. Now, we haven't seen an intermediate throw yet. We haven't seen him have to deal with pressure in the pocket yet, because hats off to Cliff Kingsbury. I thought called a very good game, right? A lot of balance, a lot of my tackles are not available to me, so this ball better come out quick. And the other thing about Cliff that I want to say, because I know that we were a bit skeptical at first, like, yeah, he could be a good offensive coordinator, but we saw the Arizona stuff. His ability to empower his QB this is week 1 of preseason for a rookie. To be able to already have the confidence and ability to go, yeah, go ahead, check out of that if you don't like it, like, is very, very good, very cool. I can't remember, but we haven't seen, that many rookies, to be totally honest, like, have that option week 1 of preseason. So I just want to shout out Cliff Kingsbury as well for giving Jayden that ability to do so, and then running the ball a whole lot, which I love seeing. I know people want to see Jayden throw it a whole lot. I love seeing the balance. It was refreshing. It goes back to what our roots are, and it makes it easier for your quarterback. I thought Cliff was awesome yesterday, K-Dot.
Cliff is probably, like, overall yesterday my MVP in the sense of, trust me, I know it's a low bar, but setting up the guys on the field to succeed, and that means, like, knowing who's playing and who's not playing, and making sure that you're giving them every opportunity to put positive tape out or have positive plays happen, right?
Yeah.
This is not, hey, we don't have our full complement of offensive line, but hey, we're going to throw it 55 times anyway. Like, that's not what that was. And to be able to have a good balance throughout, it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. Yeah, man, Lord knows sometimes you just want adults in the goddamn room, and it feels as though with Cliff we do. I also love from a play concept standpoint, and I'll do more as far as looking at the all-22 my damn self over the course of the preseason. Trust me, there's another thing that I get reminded of every time the preseason happens, which is, as much as I'm excited for football, this shit gets boring around the third quarter. I mean, it just gets fucking boring. You're like, all right, this doesn't count. These commercials suck. Oh, it's just rough. So it's like
the talent level drops a bit. It's
It
people making the
does.
team if you're not, like, really into it, and even if you are, sometimes it can just be like, man.
Yeah,
like,
trust me, I'm
it's
sitting there
all
with, like,
we
notes trying to like, all right, this
I'm
guy,
doing the
this
same
guy
thing.
was
Yeah.
right, and we're gonna go over those guys that definitely showed out in those boring ass times. But what the fuck was I? What point was I making? Oh, all right. It feels as though we're headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're going to talk about more of everybody else, but just I loved seeing the way that the guys looked like they were having fun out there and they were trying hard. And even if it was the fourth quarter, the body language, which is what I cared about a whole hell of a lot, was
Right.
still shining through.
I want to. So now you've given me, like, 2 ways to go here, because you talk about we're headed in the right direction, the body language being good. There's the Brian Robinson element of, like, being on the offensive side of the ball, like we're talking about right now. I do think that also perfectly segues to on the defensive side, the first series, there's a 3rd and 14 screen call for the Jets. And how quickly Frankie Luvu, who we've heard all sorts of stuff about his speed, and Mike Sainristil coming from the other side of the field to combine for that tackle, and how fired up everybody was. I jumped off my couch, K-Dot. I was fired up watching that defense go to work there. They did not allow a first down in that possession. I don't believe they did on the second possession either. So I thought it was just really good for our defense to get a 3-and-out, because we hadn't done that. Once again, when Aaron Rodgers wasn't practicing, Tyrod Taylor was still doing well. So, like, it was good to see these guys do that. But to your point about body language, to playing fast like Joe Whitt wants to do, I thought the defense did really nice in that 3rd and 14 screen in particular, where we shut that down immediately. I thought was awesome. So I just wanted to shout out Frankie Luvu, Mike Sainristil, and everyone on the defense on that play for doing that. So just wanted to point that out.
No doubt. I mean, that's the thing, is, like, when we talk about what they're talking about when it comes to, like, playing like a commander, or what it means as far as, like, arriving violently, all the playing hard, offensively and defensively, even on special teams, you saw an extra oomph to what it is that was happening. Now, look, some of that's just first preseason. Some of these guys just want to go out there, they want to hit somebody, all this kind of stuff. But if we're looking at, and trust me, not all of it was great. Well, I'm sure we have some stuff we can be critical about, but the overall feeding into that, if we have that bucket of things that we've seen since the new regime has taken over, since Adam Peters and Dan Quinn have gotten installed, since we've seen the free agents get there, it all just feels as though there's a pathway that we're on. And most of what we saw yesterday screamed out, hey, they're on to something.
Yeah.
Don't know where it's going to end up, but they're on to something.
And on that note, K-Dot, let's talk about Emmanuel Forbes as well, because I think he gave up the touchdown. Well, we can start there for a moment. He gave up a touchdown to Jason Brownlee, and, hard not to feel disappointed in that moment. I'm sure he felt disappointed in that moment as well. But I also want to look at the other side of it, right? Because I think oftentimes with Emmanuel, we just see the one thing and everyone just pounces on it. It's kind of irritating for me, right? As a fan, as a guy that I think his confidence got shattered last season. And what I saw, K-Dot, at least early on, he made the first 2 tackles on defense, right? He makes the first 2 tackles on defense, little help on the second one in particular. And he had a pass breakup, and honestly could have been offensive PI. So there was some good stuff with Emmanuel Forbes. And you talk about the fight and the body language. I thought he was good overall in those things. Now, giving up a touchdown, obviously, that's a huge play. It's bad. You don't want that, of course. And I want to see how he responds. It's always going to be with everybody. How do you respond? How do you respond? How do you respond? But I want to keep it positive here too and say that, hey, the guy made some plays. So I was overall pleased with Emmanuel. Again, got beat badly on the touchdown. So I'm not going to ignore that either and be like, no, it's okay. It's not okay. He knows that. But want to point out the positive as well with Emmanuel. Go ahead, K-Dot. Go ahead.
It's very good to point out the positive. And I'm not on any sort of wanting to beat up Emmanuel Forbes.
I know you're not. Yeah.
I will say that what it seems to me, which is a positive, I have to be careful about how I phrase this. If it doesn't work out, God forbid, at least it won't be for a lack of effort.
I agree.
That's good.
And I fully agree with you there. Yeah. I fully agree with you there.
That's it. It's like, expectations, this, that, and the other. I'm not going to say whether or not it's his fault or whatever. He didn't pick where he was drafted. But he's got to do better. I think he knows he's got to do better.
Yeah.
And, I look at that game and I say there were some definitely positives, and especially from that play like a commander, right? Like I love that. I love that he's not a detriment to that. I love that he's one of the guys for real. But what that means as far as that's my thing is like I'm starting to get out of the mode of, or I might be already out of the mode of, look, new regime, new thing. They didn't pick him. Even with the guys that they did pick, it either works or it don't work. That's it. Yeah. And we're all just trying to get better. So that's it.
I also think I like, this may sound a bit strange, I like that the coaching staff is putting him on an island on some of these plays. So they're seeing, hey, can you strap up one-on-one? It's not necessarily what we'll ask you to do in the regular season. We'll put you in positions to succeed. I have faith. One of the takeaways of yesterday is I have faith in the coaching staff to put people in positions to succeed.
No doubt.
I'm excited about that. So I imagine with Emmanuel, who did quite a bit of zone also, and that's where he was sort of thriving as the ball hawk. You just keep his eyes on the QB and not have to worry about a route necessarily.
Yeah.
Putting him on an island in man during preseason, I have zero issue with. Let's see if you can do it. Let's see if you are able to strap somebody up, if that part of your game improves. And I still don't think he's going to be a day one start. I don't think he's going to be one of our top 2. I think it's going to be Michael Davis. I think it's going to be Benjamin St-Juste. I think those are going to be the top 2. But they're giving him opportunities to be able to show. And then I think they will put him in positions to succeed moving forward. So I just wanted to point that out also. I didn't mind that from the coaching staff.
No, I think that the only element that you'd see with this regime looking at the old one is, hey, if this guy got drafted this early, we have to kick the tires to make sure that we're doing everything we possibly can because they got drafted there for a reason. Right. And we're not going to say it was just completely ranked incompetence by the other guys. There's something there. So let's see what he has. And it's like I've been saying, the one thing at cornerback is that it is a lonely position most of the damn time. And the only way to truly improve is to get beat sometimes. Yep. And preseason game 1, I throw out majority of the tape last year. Once again, I think he regressed. It was a regression.
You did.
But we'll see where he is now. And if this first preseason game is any indication of the ability of this coaching staff to at least teach, or like you said, put the guys in the right position, he's going to get his best. He's going to get his best bet with us.
Yeah, I completely agree. Let's talk about Jayden Davis. That's another guy that was taken in the first round that is also sort of being put in a different position. So he played. I know Dan Quinn said first and second down, we'll see him at linebacker, and third down, you'll probably see him rush now and then. And I think this also provides credence to the point that Emmanuel Forbes is being asked to do something he might be uncomfortable doing right now, which is being on that island going one-on-one. Jayden Davis played 20 snaps, and they were all as a down lineman on the edge yesterday. So putting him in a position, how does he react? How does he set the edge? He also had a couple tackles off the edge, and he set the edge pretty well. And then there was a play where he didn't set the edge, and they ended up busting a big run. So, like, you see that element of it as well. He's learning to pass rush as a down lineman on a first and second down versus a third down where he can blitz off the edge or even blitz interior as a linebacker. So, wanted to point Jayden Davis out playing felt like a pretty new position, at least with this regime. What'd you make of his performance, K-Dot?
He played pretty well against the run at certain times. I would not be surprised if next week they have his ass doing more linebacker shit. Right?
I completely agree. Yeah.
So and I hope that transitions us a bit into more of the linebacker conversation, which is something that I was like bringing up with you and Nathan a couple weeks ago, or a week ago. Because this episode, whatever.
9 days ago. Yeah,
9 days ago. Linebackers looking legit.
Bobby didn't play either.
Bobby didn't play. Frankie got in there for the short amount of time that he was in there, and he was already like making a name or a rep for himself. But I tell you right now, two dudes that leaped off, even when there was some of them boring ass times of that game. Pittman and McGee look like guys. They both look like guys. And that was the thing. And that was what I was telling you guys about Pittman. I was like, hey, I get middle linebacker Pittman. He kind of comes in or whatever. But it's like talent's kind of talent. And you get to a point where you're like, hey, this dude's a playmaker when he's on the damn field. We need to figure out a way to get him on the damn field. And if you're only going to line up two linebackers, I'm sorry, but like it's starting to get to a point where like any fucking combination of Bobby Wagner, Jordan McGee, Pittman, or whoever, or Luvu, but like,
yeah. Also got to say, so for those that maybe missed Jordan McGee, that's because he was starting alongside Frankie Luvu, and I think Frankie Luvu just bust out the screen so easily. But noted, he started next to Frankie Luvu. Okay, so like in case you're like Jordan McGee, I don't remember Jordan McGee. Well, that's because he was forcing 3 and outs with Frankie. Okay, Anthony Pittman was everywhere.
So he's a guy.
Oh my goodness. So like it does make the linebacker conversation very, very interesting to your point. Play like a commander, play fast. You are beginning to see that identity take place. It has been one game, but we can't help our excitement. And I'm sure you can't either, guys. Like this is a fun time to be a Commanders fan. I also had Anthony Pittman written down on my sheet as like, wow, he was really good. Another guy, let's stay on the defensive side, Tyler Owens. Undrafted out of Texas Tech. I don't quite know. You know, sometimes the NFL just misses on players. John Keim even tweeted out, hey, this kid's got a future in the league. Like, you know, if Keim is saying it too, like he doesn't always just drop that. There are a lot of reporters that'll just be like, oh, no, this person's good. They have a future. They overuse it. I don't think John Keim is one to particularly use it that often. And he did with Tyler Owens. And at least from what I saw, and I watched these games without being on Twitter during it so that I can just like have my own thoughts and then bring that and see what social media is thinking. A lot of people were in agreement. Tyler Owens was awesome yesterday. He had a really nice solo tackle on special teams.
Yep.
On a punt. I remember that being like, oh, okay. And then after that, I couldn't not notice him on defense. Like the guy was everywhere, K-Dot. Him too. So I just want to shout out Tyler Owens.
No, everybody they had back there at safety, it was very interesting to see like the safety split. Like everybody they were kind of coming back. And I heard B-Bench, you talk about like they have a type. Like
very large. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing that we've always known, right? Is like if you look at these guys that we have as far as the coaching staff, this is the thing that's supposed to excite us the most. Linebacker, I think it has a lot to do with like Frankie Luvu coming in here and then knowing what's happened as far as the interior of the front four and what that could potentially do to open up things for the linebackers. That's one thing. But if we're looking at this particular coaching staff and what it is we would say they excel at or makes us the most excited is taking unheralded guys in the secondary and turn them into fucking stars.
Mm-hmm.
So like this is where we're at. So it's not like I think everybody's kind of the idea, or like from a name recognition standpoint, like, oh well, if they can do that, what will they do with Emmanuel Forbes? We don't know, but we do know if we're just basing it off of record, they're gonna have some guys play fucking incredible in some of these positions in the secondary. That's what you gotta like. Does not mean that they're gonna be all pros or anything first year out, but know that this is what they teach better than maybe any other thing on the defense.
Yeah.
So this is, I'm glad we're seeing some of these guys kind of leap out off the screen. It just speaks to more about, to me, them knowing what they're doing as far as the talent evaluation, and them being able to teach it properly.
Exactly. Complete agreement with you there, K-Dot. Those exhaust my names on the defensive side that I wanted to talk about. Were there any on your end that I may have missed before we go back to the offense? Because I know you and I both have a few more on offense.
No, we pretty much talked about any of them. The only one I probably go and I know you mentioned him specifically, was Mike Sainristil. Even hearing him do the sideline interview, that dude's a leader.
Yes.
And that dude's I like everything about him. I think that's a dude that's like your glue.
Mm-hmm.
He feels like glue. Like he feels like him and Bobby. And you see the interaction that they're
hanging
having,
out.
right?
Yes, they're hanging out. Yep.
Like that to me is like wow. Like wow. Like they might have, like wow. Sainristil might be that dude. And it's just I love seeing that, and I love seeing his attitude and him hanging out with the right guys on the team. And it seems as though his influence is going to mean something, and mean something good as far as what it is they're doing, trying to find those commanders.
His energy, even when he's not playing, like the nice thing about the game was that they were all, of course, wearing their jerseys and stuff like that. You could see who was jumping up, getting hyped with teammates, stuff like that. Sainristil was often the first one that was ready to congratulate anybody and was super hyped. Looked like a veteran, honestly. If you were to just like throw someone in there and be like, can you identify which ones are the rookies, which speaks to the coaching staff, speaks to the GM, I couldn't tell. I could not tell. Same thing with Jayden. Jayden was hanging out with Bobby Wagner a whole lot too. You could see that a whole lot. Bobby Wagner, big boxing with him, shadow boxing with him a little bit, and Jayden's just like, oh, man, get out of here. Like, they're already tight, which is really cool. And Sainristil is a guy. Like, you can immediately tell. Another guy, K-Dot, that maybe looks like a guy also taken in the second round. This is Senator. That very first catch he had, where it took half of New York, the greater metropolitan area, to bring him down. The Senator might be something, K-Dot.
Is there anybody want to understand now why he was on every fucking list I could put together during this offseason? Are there any questions about that, guys? The dude is a dog. He can play. He's like, so you want to talk about play like a commander? You can take that fucking preseason play and give me like a wall of fucking fatheads. They should blow that bitch up and put it in an Ashburn already. That is something to learn from. And on top of that, I'll say this. There was a little part of me a little concerned. It's a little concerned. Because I'm like, he gonna fumble that damn ball.
The same
thing. Ball security. He's got it. Dude is he gonna look discombobulated doing it. He gonna look uncoordinated doing it. He gonna look like a baby giraffe out that bitch sometimes. But I'm telling you, put the ball in his hands and shit is going to go down and go down well. I promise. It's my lock pick. Ben's my lock pick, man. There's no doubt.
I mean, that was awesome. I love that we had the same thought. We've been burned so many times in the past. Those extra yards, we're like, go down, just please.
Go down.
You're going to fumble. I've seen it. You don't understand the history of this team. You will fumble. It's not even in your control. Benson, it was like, nah, I got it. Don't worry about it. And I got 3 other guys on my back right now wearing white. I mean, he was really good. As soon as he catches it, B-Mitch said it on the broadcast. As soon as he catches it, turns, sprints forward. Doesn't matter if somebody's there or not. Like, he's elusive as well, but he'll try and run you over if you're there. It's up to you if you want to be there.
Straight line, baby.
I mean, so he was fantastic. Another guy that is physical, and we've all known it, Brian Robinson. I know you had him written down. Speak on him, K-Dot.
B-Rob starting where he left off, running hard. Like there is nothing I love seeing more than a dude that just can't help but fall forward because of the way he's turning his legs. It's the, oh boy, that looks like we're only getting a yard. Oh wow, that was 4 yards.
Mm-hmm.
You love to see it. You love to see it. So like, yeah, B-Rob is just like, and I think the combination of the runs and like you get in the, like, I'll be completely honest, you got to a certain point, I'm looking at the running back, I'm like, who the fuck is that in there now? But like the B-Rob showed out. Like he looked like, okay, this is that dude. And if you're already getting like, I'm not sure if I'll draft on fantasy because they put Eckler in there on that goal line. Vulture time, bitch. So it's
honestly,
really, it's like, wow, already. But it looks like they got some like thunder and lightning thing on, and I really do dig it. But yeah, it goes back to like, look, we're already talking about offense, right? We're talking about offense. We're talking about two dudes in particular on offense outside Jayden, and we go back, and this is what I love. I love, and I want to be able to every episode. I want you motherfuckers to be sick of me saying it. The play like a commander aspect of shit. When you see that Ben Sennett play, when you see B-Rob just the way he runs naturally in every fucking play and falling forward and always turning his feet, this is what we're talking about, guys. Like, this is what it is. B-Rob, he just completely encapsulates it, right? And you feel it in every one of those runs.
Yeah, absolutely. And Austin Eckler, I mean, is a touchdown machine. So I understand. But to your point, Kate, like it's almost like we have two of the same guy, kind of, right? Like they both finish forward. They both play like a commander, are very physical. B-Rob he's got a special trait there in terms of being able to finish those runs. We've seen plenty of running backs, people even bigger than him, don't finish runs the way he does, to your point. So like you're seeing the physical identity on the defensive side of the ball with the run game. You're seeing that finishing forward. Michael Wiley was really good yesterday, just in his time, and also being able to finish his runs. So I thought that was cool. There are also a couple wide receivers, Kate, I know you have listed in Olamide Zaccheaus, OZ, and Luke McCaffrey. Speak on them, please.
This is, again, speed kills, bitch. Like, it's just like that dude. Are we actually going to have excitement from the punt or kick returning position again? Oh my God. Yeah. I don't remember what that's like. Dude is just like speed kills, and this dude is out there to like murder as many people as he possibly can. Like, it was just shout out to I guess two shout outs already. Allison, as far as trust me, I wanted to take everything with a grain of salt as far as being an Eagles fan, complimenting a former Eagle, but I had props to do. Zaccheaus, like, he separate himself. Like, he looked, when I talked about like the going in the preseason thing, two things I look for, right? Body language and moments. Zaccheaus had moments. He had moments where you look back, you're like, oh shit, he's making things interesting, right?
Yeah.
And the second guy is another dude that, like, if you want to talk about trending upward over the course of his football career and trending in all the right ways, Luke McCaffrey. 2 targets, 2 catches, 25 yards. He don't drop shit. He makes the catch. That was the thing that always screamed out as far as looking back at what he's been doing even in his short careers being a wide receiver. If you throw the ball his way, good things happen. And that's all you want to hear. I don't think you're not seeing anything with McCaffrey so far that's like, he's not showing you Zaccheaus like off the charts, like crazy speed or this, that, and the other, right? But when you think about the play of the game that we always go back to as far as Jayden Daniels, right?
Yep.
Jayden looking and seeing what it is the defense is giving him, realizing pre-read, okay, I know where everybody's at. I can do this with my eyes. We got one-on-one. I can do that. I can trust it. Let me go do it. It's a high percentage. Like, let's just go. When you have a Luke McCaffrey who's already showing, once again, not a whole lot, 2 catches, I know it, but to me it's the 2 targets and the 2 catches. If I'm Jayden and I know Luke's lined up there, I see what the defense is giving. If I throw it his way, I can get us out of the situation. If I throw it his way, we got a 3rd and 2 instead of a 3rd and long. Like, that's what you want to know. The safety valve of all safety valves. It's just like, and look, it might be just a racist thing at this fucking point. It's some scrappy white boys that love doing that shit. It's like what Tom Brady had, right? It's like Tom always knew my guy's going to be in the right place, exactly where it is. If I put the ball where it needs to be, he's coming down with it. He might not run for a touchdown. He might not break any tackles, but he's going to catch the damn ball where I throw it, and that's good for the offense.
Yeah. Luke in particular, like, early days, the 2 catches, 2 targets, may have been 3 now that I'm thinking about it, because we had the very last one where I think we should have gotten a PI call. I want to go through it to him, but I can't remember if that was him.
I don't think it didn't count towards it.
It didn't end up counting toward. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Luke, you can tell, is going to be good. Like, you can just tell, just from the way he runs his routes. From to K-Dot's point, if that ball gets anywhere near him, he's going to come down with it and allow you to create more options in your playbook for the next play, for future drives and stuff like that. So Luke, I'm excited for, especially because he's only played receiver for 2 years, and now he's going to continue learning. The McCaffreys are crazy. They were talking about Ed McCaffrey and like on Fridays, what are they supposed to do? Not spit because that could dehydrate them, for example. Like, that is an insane family. It is true. It is an insane family. Luke is one of them. So, like, I have zero doubts that Luke is going to do whatever it takes. He's in the building with Jayden Daniels. So, like, I've got zero worries with Luke McCaffrey. He's going to be fine. A quick shout out to Bryson Tremaine as well. His size is immediately obvious on the field. I know Sam Hartman, who you want to touch on, had to throw to him over the middle, and Bryson Tremaine ate the hit, but came down with it after high pointing the football. Talk to me about your crush. That's it.
You saw it. You saw those locks flowing out the back of that helmet. You saw, whoa, he's that fast? I know you thought it. I know you all thought it. I know there's some zip on that ball. Oh, and he looked good doing it. Sam Hartman, man, number 1 in my heart, soon to be number 1 in yours. He's that dude. Look, I know you're going to touch on more of the other quarterbacks anyway. Like, Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Marcus, 1 of 1, 6 yards. Good job, bud. The only thing that I thought, and we'll get to Driscoll and whether or not he's going to make that seat half of Marcus, but beyond that,
that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I know. Everybody was thinking it. But Hartman's not threatening Driscoll or Mariota. It's not what he's here for.
Right.
But what Hartman is doing, and my hope is makes them think twice about putting him on a practice squad, because somebody might scoop that luscious man up. I'm saying, like, things are going to get tough when you look at that 53-man roster. And I look at a Sam Hartman like, but I get Jayden, generational talent, it seems like, hopefully. But I ain't letting that dude walk out on me. Are you kidding me? No. It's just regret.
I've told you at minimum, if things are not going well, you can trot him out, and it is a walking distraction for a lot of people, most notably Brian Mitchell, who the moment the guy came on the field, I think the first 5 comments, I think I counted, I had it listed somewhere, how many times he mentioned Sam Hartman and how he looked. And so, like, Brian Mitchell could not get off the fucking thing. He was like, this man is gorgeous. He could be
given the opportunity. I wouldn't get off the fucking thing either, if you know what I mean.
I mean, listen, Brian Mitchell, I was surprised because, Brian Mitchell, tough guy, like, should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, you hear his commentary, and then he just melts while talking about that.
Like, it's like when I was sitting here watching the Olympics, right? And it's like that you can appreciate, like, the best athletic bodies in existence, right? The best in the world. And you can appreciate it. I'm sorry. If you got fucking eyes, you can appreciate the beautifulness of this man. You've got to be able to do it. And the thing is, the play looks like it's backing up the looks. It's not me excited and giddy.
Now that you said that, I think we did not do a good enough job trying to get Sam Hartman to run the 100-meter dash in the Olympics representing the USA. I mean, could you imagine? He'd break the internet. And he can't, like, wear his hair to tailor or anything like that. He's just
you just want to see that hair flowing. I got you covered.
All right. Well, I want to talk about Jeff Driscoll as well.
I'm never gonna give it. Okay.
Oh, you're good. So it just happens. I get it. Jeff Driscoll, I want to shout out. I know you see the stats and you go, okay, he completed about 50% of his throws. Why are you talking about Jeff Driscoll? So if you did see the game, you saw some really, really good stuff, honestly, from Jeff Driscoll. So most notably, getting absolutely rocked, not once, but twice in the pocket as he delivers a throw, and it's perfect. One to Dyami Brown, one to Olamide Zaccheaus, which unfortunately got called back for a crack block. Or gosh, what was it? A blindside block, excuse me. I want to say Cole Turner. I can't remember. I remember also thinking maybe he got pushed in. That's beside the point. Jeff Driscoll, I thought, was very good because he made good decisions. He's able to put a ball where he needs to. He's not threatening Jayden, just to be clear. He's not, to me, yet threatening Marcus because we only saw one drive from Marcus. But it does make me interested in watching more Marcus, right? Because
no doubt.
I go Driscoll, I would be comfortable with Driscoll being the backup. Now, I like Marcus Mariota as well and believe Marcus Mariota is better. But the way Jeff Driscoll played, in my opinion, because I think he should have had a touchdown, Jahan slipped when we tried that fade ball on 3rd and 3. Jahan should have won and stayed on his feet. And I think Driscoll put it in a really good spot for him to catch it. So, you should be seeing a touchdown on his stat line as well. I thought Jeff Driscoll was very impressive. He got some good reviews from people during camp. It was nice to actually see it on the field, though. I felt good with him in there, K-Dot.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. There's a multitude of things happening all at once, right? So, and Driscoll also had a throw in the end zone across the middle. I forget who it was to, but he underthrew it just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he did. Gosh, who was it? Was that
exactly play those?
Yeah,
it might have been. It might have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was the case. Look, nobody's excited about Marcus Mariota. Just call it what it is, right? There might have been excitement about Marcus Mariota at one point. I loved watching him play when he was in Tennessee. The tape that he's had recently has not looked great. And but you look at certain things and you're like, okay, well, he could really help out as far as benefiting for Jayden Daniels and his development, right?
Right.
So, exact same situation as far as being drafted. Even when we're looking at some of the stuff that happened in the offseason, as far as when all the guys were out there on the West Coast training and practicing or whatever, that was Marcus Mariota's doing. So, I don't think that got enough play.
Good point.
For people explaining he was the one that did that, right? So, I think there's just muted expectations from a guy who nobody's just in love with.
Mm-hmm.
And then and that's the other is everybody had the list of who will be the bridge quarterback if we were going to draft it. Mariota was no one on his list. I'm sorry, it just wasn't. I had Gardner Minshew, you had Tyrod Taylor.
Yep.
Everybody had somebody, right? So there is an element of can you prove to us we should be excited that you're here? Please. Which is unfair to Marcus. It's totally unfair to him.
Completely. Even the drive was unfair to him. There was poor blocking on 1st and 10. Now he's in 2nd 18.
Right. And that's why you also look at you're and I appreciate the coach staff doing what it is they're doing. Look, I tell you, the most I wanted to see was at max 2 to 3 series from Jayden. They gave him 1. Thank God.
Liked it.
Marcus, give me 1. Thank God. Right. Mm-hmm. The offensive line, not the full complement. We're doing everything we can to try to protect the guys. But somebody's going to get hit at some particular point in time. Doesn't make sense to fucking deal with this. So they did what they needed to do. Driscoll, you're a crash test dummy. It is what it is. You get paid to do it. But it's Driscoll had some moments out there where you see some toughness, where you see this thing, and it just allows a bit of the spark. And I think the spark with Driscoll is what allows people to say, hey, maybe he's more exciting than Mariota's going to be here as far as that backup position. But I mean, the only thing I'm hoping for Driscoll at this particular point in time, just the way the team has been established, and the money that is being paid to Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
Put some tape on he's 31 years old. Put some motherfucking tape on the board, some exciting tape, and go get a lush ass backup job somewhere in the league. I'm appreciating Jeff Driscoll for doing what it is he's doing right now. And look, if he ends up being light years ahead of Marcus, I think you're right. The only thing that it made me want was like, I want to see more Marcus.
Yeah.
I want to see more Marcus. I want Marcus to put on some tape. And if he looks anything similar to Driscoll, it's what it is. It's whatever.
Yeah, I have an interest in right. And honestly, if it's a tie, it goes to Marcus, obviously. And I think if Driscoll's even a little better than Marcus, it goes to Marcus. Like he would need to be significantly better than Marcus. If he is, yeah, then there's a conversation about is Jeff Driscoll the backup? I know he's been on a bunch of NFL teams in the past. I know that. But I also think people can improve over time. And from what I saw from Jeff Driscoll, it looks like he's taking it very seriously and trying to make this team. I don't think he did anything wrong yesterday.
He too can have his Geno Smith moment.
Yeah. And shout out Jonathan Allen, who, when he was hyping the team up, he was inactive yesterday, right? We're resting some of the guys. He was like, hey, you're not just playing for this one team. You're playing for 32. You're putting this on tape for everybody. And a lot of those guys, in my opinion, took that very seriously yesterday. Shout that out. But we also got to shout out the best punter in the game, Tress Way.
No doubt.
I mean, first off, leadership alone, giving up the 5 to Jayden, wearing 10. He hasn't decided yet what jersey number he's going to take. I thought 10 looked pretty good on the kid.
It did look good on him.
I thought it looked good on him. And that solo tackle was incredible. And honestly, could probably help a couple people out. If we decide to go, Tress, can you teach some guys how to tackle? Because the whole team was fired up when he made that tackle.
You said, like, just look down below where Ahmed is. There's our guy, Tress Way, making that tackle right there at the bottom of the screen. I had to make sure he was on it.
I appreciate that because it was an awesome play, a play like a commander. It encapsulates who he is as a person. He deserved that moment. And for the entire team to be like, the reverse angle, by the way, where you see him tackle and then you are facing the entire bench and you see everyone flexing and going, yeah, I was fired up, man.
Yeah. That to me, that was like the Tress Way, of course. We love him. And he was booming that motherfucking ball.
He's a monster, dude.
Dude was like, he ain't lost a step, right? Yeah, dude still got it. And the tackle was like, but yeah, the team reaction. Those are those moments, man, where you're just looking at it like, we got a team.
It felt good.
For each other. It felt good. And to see some of the new guys, to see Luvu being the first guy, it's like the new guys are in the fold. They're in the fold. It's great. It's great. It's great.
Absolutely awesome. Any final thoughts, Kate, up before we move to the comment mailbag here?
Yeah, I think that we've been glowingly positive, which is good. But once again, riding that tide as far as good, bad, hype, no hype, take me back down to earth, inflate my balloon. Jayden absolutely inflated everybody's balloons. He did, no doubt. It was a question. We just wanted to see him go out there and do it. He did it. It's a very small sample size, but he did it. Look, everyone, crash course, O-line, we need them bitches back. we need them back. Now, look, one sack given the entire game. Pressures this, that, and the other. Once again, going back to what it is we've talked about all season, there is a way through play calling that you can mask some deficiencies and not just highlight them every fucking opportunity. Eric Bieniemy, Cliff did a great job. That being said, we need them back. That depth could be a problem the more and more rushers you face. When you start seeing dudes that aren't playing thirds or fourth stringers, I do appreciate what I saw them from a coaching standpoint. Those I don't feel like the same line of offensive linemen came in or out during any series. I felt like it was a different combination. Like just throwing them. And I loved it. I love the idea of like, let's fucking figure out who's good at what, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, we need dudes back. Like at a minimum.
Yes.
We've already seen just through play calling. He was better last year, but we need him back.
Can I quickly shout out Alex Armani, goes by Armani actually, Taylor, who ended up getting an 82 PFF rating. So just want to say he literally just got on the team, ends up getting a good rating for Pro Football Focus. Just want to shout him out, but please continue, Kate.
Nuts. Crazy what play calling and putting people in discrete positions will do for you. Yeah, like Charles Leno, he'd fucking eat here. Jahan, bro, we're talking about moments, and you gotta have them. Like, we're at this point now where we're looking at who needs to be here, who doesn't need to be. Like, you're not at any risk of losing your position on the roster. But God damn it, you need to get your head in the game, brother. Get your head in the game.
We are, we're being positive. We're looking at a bunch of little moments to shout out a lot of people, but also with Han being a first round pick. I mean, if we're giving smoke to Forbes, also, I mean, like, this is the year, Jahan, right? Like, I mean, we've got what looks to be a good quarterback in this league. Let's hope so. We'll see. But a quarterback with promise at minimum. You see Dyami Brown making plays, Olmi Zacchaeus immediately making plays. And I'm thinking, okay, we've got Dyami, we've got Zacchaeus potentially, Brown potentially, Terry for sure. I want to see you make plays, Jahan. Like, that's what we want to see. And
we know you're capable of it.
Absolutely. Right. We saw it rookie year. The man was a touchdown machine. So let's get back to that. I believe he will. But yeah, no more bobbling the ball, please. Come on.
No, because I mean, the only thing I look at is, like, I'm excited about, like, we're getting to a point where I want people that have the talent to get the opportunities. No doubt you have the talent, John, but there are other guys too. So, like, if we got to worry about your head's not completely in the game and that takes away from Luke McCaffrey getting more snaps, I ain't got time for that. Nobody got time for that. So, like, let's get it. This is your time to get it in. Let's get it. Outside of that, and this is to everyone that listens, there are going to be some more kickers coming. That is not a solidified position by any means. I think everybody needs to, if you do find yourself watching preseason games across the league, there's some guys going to get cut, including guys that are here on this team in a few weeks. And there are going to be some more bodies in this bitch. Because yeah.
K-Dot, I got my cleats. I could maybe give it a go, honestly. I mean, listen, Riley Patterson, you cannot miss that kick. That is a chip shot in the NFL. And he's been an NFL kicker. So, like, he knows that. That's a tough miss from there.
And now when you're in a competition with an unknown.
Yeah. And then Ramiz Ahmed, he did what he needed to do. He made his kicks. Yeah. But yes, there will be some more competition for sure. And honestly, I would like to see a 50-plus yard field goal. I know it won't be exciting, and I'll probably want to go for it in the moment, but, like, we need to see what we have at kicker. That's going to be very, very important. Plenty of times on Red Zone, you see a kick to win the game or to send it to OT. You're going to need that solidified. So let's see what happens there. Any final thoughts before we go to this comment mailbag?
Nope.
Go ahead and take it away then, AI Nikki.
Sorry, I'm scrolling.
No, you're fine. You're doing great, by the way.
Appreciate it. I mean, yeah, phone. Yeah, sure.
Comment mailbag time, motherfuckers. The district divided, ain't got time for no suckers. Spread the word, get in line. OGs and new G's, it's your time. And spread the gospel, cause this shit is divine. Yeah.
Shout out AI Nikki for that one. Thank you, K-Dot. And we begin with William Sprague. Not a big fan of this guy, I'll tell you that from the front. Shout out William Sprague.
I gotta cut you off. William Sprague, your comments are not getting read. It just won't happen. That being said, you need love in your life.
Yeah.
I'm from a standpoint where I'm going to be leading with love instead of more hate. Especially with somebody that I mean, look, whatever it is you do in this world, it really got no impact
too.
on me.
Sorry to cut you off. You saw him too. So I reported those immediately. I gave him a chance to delete them.
Look, if I'm being completely honest, I should have hit you up. I wouldn't even want you to delete them. I wanted them there. Because William, as much as I know you need love, you're a fucking idiot because all comments help our fucking algorithm. So I don't give a shit. Like, do what you need to do. If you are that hard pressed to get reactions out of people that you resort to doing what it is you're doing, you need someone to show you love and appreciation. The most I can do is let you know you need it. You ain't really getting it from me. I'll never know you. But I appreciate I appreciate the view. I appreciate the comment. And even if you want to spew your bullshit, I'm sure the rest of the Dish Divided crew will let him know where it is that we think or what it is that they think about him. I know don't feed the fucking trolls, but sometimes there's some people out here that mommy and daddy didn't do enough, that maybe their relationship is not where it is they need to be. that maybe the dick's a little too small and maybe the IQ's a little too short. It's like, brother, do better.
It was the first time we came across something like that. I didn't quite know how to handle it. Thought did the best I could, Kate, out with that.
No, I know, man.
So.
Here's the thing. I think on the side of what is actually the right thing to do, you handled it absolutely immaculately. I want to take it from a standpoint of, even if you're a racist piece of shit, share our shit because I want you to pay me.
Which would be great.
Get me paid.
So in that case, why don't we go ahead and begin with Earl Bruce? Shout out Earl Bruce. Playoffs, not this year, but give AP 2 more drafts and things will be better. We have holes and a lack of depth. You can't fix everything in one offseason, which gets a thumbs up. K-Dot, your reaction to that? It's going to be a process.
That's what it is, man. That's why I keep trying to reset expectations and saying that, like, the only ones I have is play hard. So I'm sorry, but if you saw preseason game number 1, how you think your boys feel about expectations? They're exceeding them. Like, I'm straight. Yeah. I'm good. Let's just keep it on this wavelength. It's going to be hard to rock my world this year, baby. It'll be real hard to rock my world this year.
Yeah. And there are going to be moments where the results don't necessarily match the process, right?
Right.
Not winning the Super Bowl this year, right? So, like, just keep that in mind also. I think this was a very encouraging game, but we'll see how it continues. May it continue? Will stuff get to their head? I don't know. It's all part of the process. We will find out.
Playoffs?
Shout out Jim Mora. Go over to Allison UG Lombard. Shout out. Luvu and Dave. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I will say shout out to Alice. What? No, I'll go back to it. I'll come back to it.
Oh, you'll come back to it. All right. Luvu and Dave is playing off ball on 1st and 2nd down and 9 tech on 3rd down. I meant to get off, like, burst off the line of scrimmage. Was Leno good at anything? So we'll first start there. K-Dot, go ahead.
Allison, keep your mind on the gutter. We know you, Matt. It's inappropriate. It's completely and totally inappropriate.
We will continue with that, guys. Please note the question marks.
Unless you're talking about Sam Hartman, then we're all on board.
I was asking you guys what you thought about Leno.
Although Frankie Luvu, those hair. He's a big man. I feel like he could pick me up.
Oh, whether he had, I'm just going to continue. Whether he had no anchor, whether he has the lateral ability to beat burst speed off the line of scrimmage. Camden Yards is nice. I went to a game, though. It's a nice ballpark. My favorites are Wrigley and Fenway. The Green Monster can be seen from space. Joking. Yankee Stadium is legit. And so that's the comment from Allison Lombard. So Charles Leno did have a rough year last season. I don't think everyone's going to pretend otherwise.
Yeah.
But is he good at anything? Yeah, I mean, he's still serviceable left tackle, in my opinion. But yeah, you would prefer to just have better. That's it. That's the way I think of it. What about you, Kate?
Yeah, I think Leno had a rough year.
Yeah,
he had a rough year off the field. I actually think on the field, most of his roughness is once again mostly at the feet of a man who I want nowhere near us. Also, I hate the Red Sox a lot. Like, if I'm looking least favorite sports teams, like, ever, Cowboys, Red Sox, Eagles, Giants, Lakers. I hate the Red Sox.
I'll have to think about my order.
And, Red Sox fans might be number 1.
Okay. Well, we're not doing an afterpod today, but maybe we'll get into
that.
Maybe we'll get into that in Friday's episode. We got a couple more from Allison. One thing I'd appreciate content-wise is a detailed offensive line and cornerback analysis. Coleman has good balance versus counters, mid-lateral speed versus speed rushers, but I'm not sure about his anchor on his vertical set. Similar analysis can be done at corner, stance, backpedaling, and clearing the ball. Any Washington collabs that can do that. And so I'll jump in first. K-Dot had mentioned Mark Bullock, for example, being able to do a lot of the X's and O's. I think that was probably that was in reference to early on. So that's somebody that you could definitely look at. I would also say he's growing his channel right now. Another guy that actually went to Hardy Middle School, so shout out, is Chris Butler. So Breeze Butler on gosh, what is it? Twitter. And so he's growing his channel right now on YouTube. So I'll link that and ask him to come on. I think he's expressed interest in the past in collabing with us. So we can have him on coaches wide receivers. He's done some coaching at the high school level over here in the area. So I think he'd be a really good person to follow as he grows his channel. So just wanted to point him out as well, K-Dot.
Yeah, I always find that there's a balance. I'd like you've heard me talk about, like, I watch all 22. I'd like us to do more breakdowns like that. I love the ability earlier this episode. I mean, Allison, I get the sense that this is something you're usually talking about, the X's and O's. So
was
I thought
scout.
giving you right. So giving you the Mark Bullock aspect of it would be nice. Like some of my favorite guys doing this, like I always look at Benjamin Solak, who worked for The Ringer. I know that Ahmed had heard me talk about him more than once. He's no longer at The Ringer. ESPN just scooped him up, which is a huge loss for The Ringer. And I don't know if he's still going to be doing this online stuff the same way. But what you end up seeing is a lot of the talking head pods don't do a lot of analysis of X's and O's. I'm not sure if it's one because they either can't do it. Trust me, I'm not going to be able to break down film as best as like what you talk about, like Breeze Butler is able to do that. I didn't coach football. I just watch a lot of it. So I don't know if it's like because they don't want to seem too stupid, or it's because, in all honesty, I think a lot of people don't like it. Your average viewer doesn't necessarily need to get on the nitty gritty. I think that eyes kind of gloss over a bit. But I'd love to add some aspects to it. And I think a collaboration would probably be the best way to do it, like occasionally throughout the season.
Yeah, especially when we talk about the wide receivers are a position of intrigue as well. So I think Breeze Butler would be really cool to have on because he played wide receiver over at Wilson, now Jackson Reed, and coaches it. So yeah, we'll look out for him. I think he's going to end up being a very big talking head in this space with the Commanders moving forward. Let's see. Do we have any more from Allison? One more. No, that's a reply. So we're not going to read that because now our comment mailbags are getting kind of big. So we just read the original ones. We go to Wolf of Gotham. Shout out. Great conversation, fellas. Keep up the good work. Plain, simple, to the point. We appreciate the comment there, Wolf of Gotham. Nice and easy, K-Dot. Nice and easy on that one. We got Mr. Payne, 134. Shout out. Share this shit. Love K-Dot. How about it, K-Dot? We're getting some love. We're getting some love from Mr. Payne.
Man, I love you too. I appreciate that you will let Ahmed know that you love him one day when he loves himself and A-Train goes away.
Shout out A-Train, man. You guys great. We go over to Vindo. Shout out Vindo. Great preseason debut. So I'm jumping around in time just real quick.
Okay.
Great preseason debut for Jayden Daniels. Can't remember getting an opening touchdown drive preseason week 1, says Vindo over there. I mean, it was a fun drive. Let's not lie. It was 2 of 3, 45 yards is what we got right now. So obviously we're hype on it. But it was super cool, K-Dot. What'd you make of the drive? How'd you feel through each and every play of that drive?
I felt good. But once again, the throw was sick. Him waltzing into the end zone was sick. B-Rob was sick. But I'm always going back. I'm not getting too high or too low. It's all about just the way and the body language and everything. And to me, what made me even more excited about actually seeing was how it happened, was understanding the behind the scenes of it, hearing Dan Quinn talk about buzzing the tower, hearing Jayden talk about his progress or his process through it, hear Eckler talk about Jayden's process through it. That was cool. That to me screamed like beyond the result, which once again, preseason, who gives a fuck?
Right.
It's, they're laying a foundation.
Yes, they are. And we go over to Hermit Rob with a couple comments here. Shout out Hermit Rob. And Jess Santo, just to be clear, I see your comment and I now see the one from the last one. So we'll get to that in a moment too. Hermit Rob, respectfully, a ball hawk. Emmanuel is so ridiculously far from that status. The term should be sullied by connecting it to his name. I played free safety for 9 years. Even I can see the glaring holes in his game at the NFL level. No coaching or getting help. Playing corner 2, corner 3, or any zone scheme is going to help if the physical skills are not there. The kid just physically cannot press off the line. You can't slow down the X or Z after the snap. You're getting roasted by violent route runners all day, every day. Just a fact. Nothing has changed in that regard from where I sit. When you gain weight, you lose speed, clearly evident on Thursday. So this is before the preseason game, okay? If you can't press even after gaining weight and the added weight is slowing you down, where does that leave him? Let you guys answer that. It was indeed one practice in a monsoon. We will see. K-Dot, your reaction to Hermit Rob's comment.
Rob, why you gotta be so mean? Look, it's kind of like I said earlier. This is not going to be the Emmanuel Forbes beat him the fuck up pod. It won't be. We're not going to be that. We liked certain aspects of what we saw in this preseason game. There is no doubt there are holes in this game that need to be fixed. I will not come close to trying to tell you all the reasons why, as you said, you played free safety for 9 fucking years. So I'm not gonna tell you I know more than you do. I'm gonna say that, look, what's important to me at this particular point, now that he's here, is that he's not necessarily getting playing time or starting over somebody when the games count that might play better. But what means more than anything to me is, if it doesn't work out, and read between the lines on this, if it doesn't work out, it won't be because of lack of effort. And that matters to me.
Yeah, completely agree. I think we're seeing Emmanuel do what he can to be that play like a commander, Washington commander. Will that translate to success for him? We will see. We will see, but it won't be a lack of effort on his part. It won't be a lack of effort on the coaching staff's part. Right. And personally, I think it's very obvious for you guys. I'm absolutely rooting for the kid. Absolutely.
Okay. And we all should be.
Yes.
And that's the thing is, like, if you find yourself not rooting for him, question where it is you're thinking about all this or what your take is on it.
Honestly, because it's not. He was put in a fucking shit situation last year. Anyway, I mean, I could begin going off on that. I have in previous pods. If you want to check it out, I'll even link them to you if you're interested in passionate defenses of Emmanuel Forbes last season. But we do go to Hermit Rob one more time. From all accounts, Jayden was poised and made NFL caliber decisions. Clearly not too big for him. When he had time, he threw accurately, if not pretty passes. Saw said verbatim, that boy gonna be nice. We have our quarterback. And this was also written before the preseason game that occurred, K-Dot. And then we saw it, of course, with the throw to Dyami Brown. He's got a pretty deep ball. Now, can he do the intermediate stuff? Can he do the short stuff, right? He did overcook the first pass. Was that jitters? Is that actually a problem? We'll see all that. Your reaction to the comment.
Yeah, I think that if that's what you thought before the preseason game, that preseason game did nothing to not make you think more along those lines. I get it. I think for me, it was nice seeing that, like, as we broke down that play, like, it wasn't anything like new necessarily, maybe new for us experiencing or seeing his hands, right? But it was nice to see the young dude playing, and I could see his mechanism of thought. And that, to me, if he can do things like that, once again, small sample size, but if I extrapolate that and say that he's going to do more of that, again, no doubt, and nothing going to be too big for him. That's good. That's fucking great.
Yeah, I loved all the, as an aside, I loved all the smiling. Like, he was clearly having a good time, man. It's an infectious smile. Like, you can see how his teammates react to him. Also, we talk about teammates gravitating towards him. You start hearing about that. He's a bit more soft-spoken, but you're beginning to see glimpses of his personality on the field, which I think is awesome. And it's a really cool one.
They zoomed in on his face right after the overthrow to Eckler, and he's just geeking. And that's when, like, immediately I looked up front and, like, nerves. like it's totally jitters. Like, and you know somebody made fun of him about it. He's like, yeah, I'll calm down.
Can I also say this? I think, okay, so after he overthrew Eckler, right, which was a fairly, like, straightforward throw, fine. It was. Let's be real. He's smiling, and you know what else? I think he's smiling because we're already out of the huddle, and it's 3rd and 6, and it's that 3rd and 6, right? So I think he's smiling because he sees it and goes, especially with the post game, he's like, Cliff lets me do it. And he joked that he might, but wasn't actually expecting to. I think he smiled because he's like, I'm going to fucking do this. Like, I think I'm actually going to make the check. I think that's why he smiled. Because 5 seconds later, the referee moves and he immediately makes the check.
If that is the case, you need to play poker more, Jayden. and chill the fuck out.
That's what I saw in real time, because I remember seeing him. He's smiling initially. I was like, it's about Eckler. And then I saw him walk up to the line and make that throw. And I rewound it and I was like, what was the smile about? Was it about missing the throw, or was it about what he just saw and what he was about to do?
You're not Cam Newton just yet. You don't get to call your shot. Okay.
Listen, I know Hartman gets you going. Jayden Daniels gets me going.
We need the element of surprise, man. Like, don't be smiling too much.
Just wanted to point that out. We go to Dennis 2782. Shout out. It's the Ron JDR era with Forbes. He needs confidence. In college, he was good. Dan Quinn needs to bring him back. Bring that confidence back. As far as Jamin Davis, he is done. Ron Jack Del Rio ruined him, and that sucks. So Dennis has belief in Emmanuel Forbes that with confidence can be back, but Jamin Davis at this point, according to Dennis, is done. K-Dot, your reaction?
My reaction is what you said about Forbes needs to be what is said about Davis.
I agree.
And what is said about both needs to be said by more people. Chill the fuck out.
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's a new regime. Play like a commander. I think both guys are doing it so far, and time will tell how they both end up doing. We go over to Blood Clot. Been a while, I feel like. Blood Clot. Shout out Blood Clot. Who is an OG? Camden Yards is so great. I remember going there a while back, and they had the best food there. And they had all these home run plaques randomly everywhere of when an Oriole player hit a memorable homer and where it landed with name and date. So sometimes it would be on floor or high up on a wall, random, just a memorable place to watch baseball. K-Dot, go ahead. Camden Yards.
It's a great spot, man. I mean, it's just being able to sit down. Look, and the Orioles they're better than they have been. And they got some exciting guys. But to be able to see like the old factory building right there, it's very easy to get to. The fans, everybody are just in it. The food on point. Once again, I can't participate in all of it because I'm a shellfish allergy. Still, ain't nothing like a hot dog and a baseball and a baseball helmet full of chicken fingers and fries. It
does sound nice.
The American way.
We should go to a game at Camden because I would love to go to Camden Yards. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, we got it. That is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I say next month. Next month, let's make it happen.
We'll make it happen. We go over to Yam Starch. Shout out Yam Starch. O-line still needs a ton of work, as does secondary. At least they seem to have addressed linebackers, which we mentioned earlier. But, and I am not all the sky is falling, but Commanders fans really need to temper expectations. So many people thinking Jayden is already the heir apparent and savior. Stop putting that much on one player, is the reaction from Yam Starch, which I think is a very good comment. I think it's something that is going to be a bit of an exercise for a lot of fans, right? Riding the highs of great plays, riding the lows of interceptions, of maybe fumbles, of not sliding. We'll see. We'll see how that all goes. But I think the organization has done a very, very good job of making sure that Jayden's not the savior. As you've seen on your screen, K-Dot has stood up and is pacing. So I believe K-Dot wants to say something here. Go ahead.
That wasn't indicative of that. It was
just gassing you up, man.
Like I'm way out of my element when I was sitting at my computer doing this show. I'm just trying to get my bearings. Okay.
Sure.
But like I told you guys, I'm doing like a 2 men and a baby, very, very gay couple thing happening right now. And I think the baby's awake. So I need to wrap this. Okay. But look, we sound extremely positive about this team. We're positive. We're hyped, right? But I think what you also have to understand is, as much as we bring the positive energy to you, our expectations are fairly fucking low. So there's a combination, okay? You're not hearing from us, oh shit, we're excited, Super Bowl bound. What it means is that everybody needs to kind of temper what it is they think success truly means for this team, knowing the variables in the situation in which we find ourselves.
Right.
New regime across the board. More turnover than any other team in this organization's history since World War II. A rookie quarterback, right? If you look at all those things, just logically, if you got some fucking common sense, you know Super Bowl's not on anybody's radar. Playoffs really ain't on anybody's radar.
Right.
We just want to see us moving in the right direction. That's it.
I think, honestly, Yamstarch's comment about Jayden, I think it's better suited for what the Chicago Bears have done so far in terms of like having Caleb be the savior. They've got him on Hard Knocks now. The moment he was drafted, he was doing that virtual Q&A with fans and like was sort of trotted out. We haven't done any of that, right? So like,
I take it further. There's a reason we thought Brandon Ayuk was not the right move for where this team was.
yes.
If you get a Brandon Ayuk, which is what a lot of us wanted, no doubt, we like the shiny toy, but with that comes unfair expectations for your rookie quarterback. Well, you got the tools. Why aren't you fucking getting it done yet?
Mm-hmm.
Progress, baby. It's a long game.
That's an excellent point on Brandon Ayuk, who now, by the way, it's nice to not have our names associated right now, considering all the chaos. Was going to be a Brown or Patriot. No, he said no to both. Then the Steelers were in. He said yes to the Steelers, but there's maybe they're not agreeing on compensation. Now he's reopened negotiations with the 49ers. It's been a lot, man. It has been a whole lot. If we get something done quietly, sure. That'd be cool, obviously. But like, man, what a saga that has been. We have three more comments, and then we get to Jess Santos' comment, which I'm excited for because I read a little bit of it and I did burst out laughing. And I apologize, Jess, one more time for missing last week's.
He's doing it on purpose, Jess.
I am not doing it on purpose. That needs to be 100% clear.
When he doesn't, look, have you seen him take a sip of water yet? When he doesn't have water, he's afraid. No. He's afraid.
It's my water. Fuck. It's on the coffee table right now.
I noticed.
Yeah, you did. You did. Well, let's go to Big Papa Grizzly. I'll make this comment about the practice pregame. Coach Quinn told the media that we were going to see some players more in practice, which can be controlled easier, and other players more in the actual game. I bet we will see a more solid starting rotation for the O-line for however long they play. That is exactly what we saw. Big Papa Grizzly shout out. As for the secondary, I'm sure we will see much more rotation than last year. I'd be very surprised if Forbes gets left on an island like Del Rio did him last season. See you gentlemen post-game with another gem. # share this shit. So the O-line rotation, spot on. Secondary rotation, spot on, at least for the first preseason game. Forbes on an island did happen. I was not surprised by it. I think it's okay for preseason. I think the point is correct come regular season. K-Dot, your reaction.
I mean, you handled it properly.
Well, we got another one from Big Papa Grizzly, unless you...
Go ahead, Big Papa.
All right, here's another one. Okay, so it's halftime. So now we are at halftime of that preseason game, and I think I've seen enough to comment. As much as the joint practice brought us all back down to earth a little bit, that series from Jayden Daniels and the ones brought us all right back up just a little bit. Jayden Daniels looked poised under pressure, delivering a deep dot to Dyami and then running it in himself. The O-line looked really good in the run game. Brian Robinson is, and this is in all caps here, that dude. Dyami Brown is wide receiver 3. We are going to see a lot of Frankie Luvu and Mike Sainristil making plays. Again, they combined on that 3rd and 14 screen to shut that down immediately. Our special teams unit is looking good outside of the kicker position. Driscoll moved past Mariota to become QB2. Okay, so that's also been said. This is halftime of that game. Okay. Now, the O-line still needs improvement in pass protection, and the secondary is still a big concern. However, I don't think it's as bad as some maybe thought after that practice. Expect good things moving forward from this team. # raise hail. # share this shit. So now you got the 2 comments, K-Dot. Your reaction.
Yeah. Look, I'll focus on the last part because I mean you pretty much nailed pretty much everything except for once again Driscoll's not overtaking, not yet. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's just money involved, guys. Come on. So once again, we are in this area of expectations, hype, hearing bad things, hearing good things, the past ghosts coming to rain down on us and all that kind of shit. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Stay medium. the feeling bad after hearing about the joint practice, as a lot of the fan base did. And now a lot of those same people, oh my God, Jayden Daniels isn't true. Oh my God. Chill the fuck out. We ain't got enough data. I mean, you know about data, right? In order to make conclusions based on your data, you need a lot of it, right?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
There ain't enough data yet.
Hasn't stopped some analysts in the past, though, from extrapolating immediately. But it is to your point. You need
Democratic
a
Party.
large... You need a large sample size. Let me wrap that one up. You're 100% right, K-Dot. We go over to Just Your Average Fly Guy. Shout out, Just Your Average Fly Guy. Me in my best Terrell Owens voice. That's my quarterback, man. Dan Quinn references Top Gun after Jayden Daniels' maverick move of checking into a long pass on the first third down in his first NFL drive. Play goes for 42. Not opposed to calling Jayden Daniels maverick on occasion as well. I think that would be pretty cool. But K-Dot, your reaction to Just Your Average Fly Guy already saying that's my quarterback.
What I'm realizing is that now they got a head coach referencing movies. Do you
Which
know
is
how
your
fucking
dream
hype
coach,
I am?
by the way? Yeah.
Do you understand like where I am? Like I can say this. If I'm looking back at the most fun I've ever had as a Commander fan, like that I remember. 2012.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Horny for Zorny. First part of that season.
I was going to say, yeah.
Right? Where it was just like, this is just good old fun.
It's fun.
Gee golly willikers, like that shit was fun, right? And 05 gives 2.0, not 07. 07 was just sad and it was emotional and it was a whole lot. It wasn't fun. We're getting there right now for me. We're reaching that point. And I don't give a fuck, like, just from the standpoint, like, if they can show up on the field and just do what it is that I want them to do as far as showing the effort, I'm already here, man. I'm really fucking happy. I'm really fucking happy.
Yeah. It's a great spot to be in right now. This is a really, really good spot to be in right now. And we conclude with Jess Santo.
And I'm going to lay back for this.
Shout out Jess Santo. This one's actually not long, so it's to the point where I could probably read the
Are you reading both of them?
I'm going to read both of them because
I feel like you should also read that written apology you have for Jess, because I think he's owed it.
You know what? You're right. So this is going to be off the top because I don't have it written. But Jess,
he couldn't even write it for you, Jess. Take it with a grain of salt, man. It's all right. He's trying his best.
From the bottom of my heart, I deeply apologize. This is now more than one occasion. I believe it's 2, maybe even 3 occasions that I have missed your comment. For whatever reason on YouTube Studio, sometimes it doesn't show up. It does show up if I uncheck the I haven't responded option, and then it appears for me. So moving forward, I will be unchecking that to make sure that I see your comments. I apologize. I'm going to read both of your comments today, and I hope that you can accept that apology. There
you go. And Jess, before you say anything, do you accept that apology? No pressure. No pressure. Because, you know, in my opinion, he can do a little bit more. But we'll continue. I'm just stand there.
We go to Jess Santo. So we'll begin with the most recent one, and then we will read the last one, okay? So that you understand the reference. You did it again. My comment was laid to the wayside, completely ignored, banished into the depths of internet irrelevance. My very well-written and humorous thoughts were lost into an oblivion of Allison Lombard's completely unrelated and one-sentence comments, which I burst out laughing. Countless hours of toil and torment, science and process, research and editing, gone. I know not what I have done to draw such contempt from your program. Good sirs, I thirst for your acknowledgement. I beg of you, do not cast me from the comment gallery like a leper. I vow to never displease the vaunted comment orator. I shall dig deep, regain my honor, crawl out of the obscurity, and make you too proud of my comments. Once again, allocate thy excrement. It's phenomenal.
Let's allocate thy excrement. And Jess, it sounds entirely too much like you're blaming yourself. Blame one man and cocaine for what happened.
Oh, it is not your fault, Jess. That is on me. And I have now unchecked. I wish I could show you. I've now unchecked that I haven't responded, and I can now see this beautiful comment from the last video, which I'm going to read right now. Great collaboration. This is in reference to when Nathan from Rest of the District is on. Got Nathan out of his element. How hard is Air Force basic training? LOL. Commander's training camp is starting to garner the attention of the national media for positive reasons for first time in a long time. There were some great, pull it together, K-Dot. There were some great moments that resonated with me. Dan Quinn, we're not only developing players here, we're also developing coaches. It's also great hearing him talk about his knowledge of the history of this organization. The Vivacious Football Minx Kay Adams was on the scene conducting some excellent interviews. Deron Payne told her a story about Jayden Daniels making fun of his cleats, to which he laughed out loud to Kay. The whole interaction really shows a lot about how comfortable and outgoing Jayden is with his teammates, as well as their affinity for him. Pivot Podcast was also there interviewing Eckler and Ertz. Ertz, who's been around the league for 12 years, said he was blown away by the new coaching staff and front office. You could tell Ryan Clark was really impressed with all of the changes being made here. St. Gibbs and Green were present and addressed the team. Finally, we get to enjoy our team and its promising future without the fear of the rug being pulled out from underneath us in an embarrassing fashion in front of the entire fucking country by our old needle-dicked owner. Be excited. We deserve it. We've been eating Snyder shit for 25 years. K-Dot, you are right. Fuck Eric Bieniemy for life. He doesn't know shit about offense, and he looks like a turd with teeth. Let's smash the Jets. Share this shit. I told you I'd read it, and I gave you emotion with it. That was Jess Santos' comment. K-Dot, your reaction.
Jeff, I gotta say, after that last little bit, I'm surprised YouTube hadn't flagged your fucking comment. No one should be able to say, what the fuck, man? God damn. You're just letting it fly. God shit. God damn. I didn't like turd with teeth thing. That's a little uncomfortable. I ain't gonna say any further.
Comment,
Jeff, he still needs to apologize better to you. But great back to back.
That was the comment, Mailbag, man. That was Jess Santo. And thank you all for commenting. Really appreciate it. Each and every one of you. This was District Divided, DC Sports Podcast, more specifically a Washington Commanders podcast. We said it was a very quick recap. We're basically at 90 minutes. I am up at that. Is K-Dot. Thank you guys so much for listening to this bonus episode. We didn't know if we were going to do a preseason recap, but
we might not do another one.
Yeah, we may not, honestly. I have no idea. I mean, but I'm up at that's K-Dot. Thanks for listening. We will see you Friday, 2 p.m. By that time, we would have had a joint practice with the Miami Dolphins. Game 2, we would expect to see the starters a bit more. So we would see more Jayden Daniels. We'd probably see more Marcus Mariota as well. We'll see more of the ones, more of the twos. See what happens. So thanks for listening. We will see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy.
No after the pod, right?
No after the pod.
Got it. Bye, everybody!
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.